My first price target for Decentraland's native token called Mana in 2025 is Mana at the price of $10, which, by the way, is a 20x from here. And even though that's all financial advice, why is this my first price target? It's because I think that Decentraland represents a very special metaverse in a sense that the community is A+. You know, a lot of metaverses out there, right? They may pop off. They may have good graphics. The gameplay may look fancy, but oftentimes the community is lacking, right? People don't really believe in the project. Yeah, sure, it's fun, but if people don't really believe in it, where's the future? And also on top of that, the team is usually very caca as well. I mean, that's a no bueno if you ask me. When it comes to Decentraland, it's well established. You know, that can't be denied. It's around for a very long time at this point, you know, relatively speaking, compared to a lot of other metaverses out there. And the community actually believes in it. They're very passionate about Decentraland. And also, you got to take into consideration the team. It didn't give up, right? After 2021, you know, a lot of metaverses projects out there, they started to tank. People stopped believing in metaverses, you know, and they just thought, wow, you know, metaverse is done for. It's caca. But you know what the Decentraland team said? They're like, nah, we're not giving up, man. We're continuing to grow because they believe in the future potential of the metaverse. And I like that because when a team doesn't want to quit, when it doesn't want to give up, that right there, I think, are some amazing qualities that is needed. Because if a project is amazing, but the team gives up, what's the point? You know, it's useless, right? Imagine a very talented marathon runner. You know, he's running a 10-mile race, but he gives up all the time, right? 8 to 9 miles, he's like, yeah, now I'm done, even though he's very talented. You know, what's the point? But if, let's say, someone's not that talented and they finish the race, hey, that's much better, in my opinion. When it comes to Decentraland, they're sticking it through, and that's what I love about it. Now, Decentraland, it's not done, right? It's not caca like what a lot of people think, because we take a look at how, according to DApp Radar, there has been around 1,000 unique active wallets on Decentraland in the past 30 days alone. Also, been around 20,000 transactions as well in the past 30 days alone. Now, of course, these numbers, they don't look as great as what they did, you know, in 2021. That can't be denied, but it's still amazing, in my opinion, that we're still seeing this activity on Decentraland. Now, if the numbers were like only 10 unique active wallets or something nonsense like that, then yeah, that's alarming. But this isn't a bad number, in my opinion. And let's not forget, the metaverse, you know, according to McKinsey, could be worth, you know, $5 trillion by 2030. That's crazy. You know, that's bigger than a lot of countries' GDP. So you got to think about that, right? Very crazy figure, very crazy statistic. When it comes to the metaverse, I think it represents, you know, life in general, right? You know, it's not only just smooth sailing all the way to the top. There's up and downs. But what do we do as humans, right? When we're down, we make a massive comeback. Our comeback always has to be greater than our setback. And I think that the metaverse is going to perfectly embody that. 2021 was amazing. Tanked. A lot of people, they made fun of Facebook changing its name to Meta. But hey, I think the best days are still ahead because it's far from over. When it comes to the metaverse, it's just, you know, a very young space. I would say it's still relatively in its infancy. There's still a lot to prove. And I think that the best days are still ahead. So when it comes to Decentraland, a very well-established metaverse with an amazing community, I do believe that the future is still very bright. So when I take a look at Mana at the price of $10, I don't see why not during the peak of this bull run. And now I do want to talk about the second price target for Mana, which is my mid-price target, and that is Mana at the price of $12. Now, this may sound crazy, but here's the thing. If Mana were to go to the price of $12, considering its current circulating supply, of course, right? Market cap at that point would be around $22.3 billion. Now, you got to take this into consideration. Dogecoin, I'm saying right now, right? I'm not saying back in 2021. Right now, market cap is around $23.2 billion. So this is approximately $1 billion more than this. So this isn't all that insane. I mean, Doge, it's a very caca meme coin, let's face it, right? And even despite that, right? You take a look at Doge back in 2021, all-time high market cap was around $88 billion. So this isn't really all that much. I mean, I'm not saying that Mana is going to go to the price of $12 tomorrow, but I'm saying during the peak of the bull run. Now, as to when the peak of the bull run is going to happen, I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on in the video. But yeah, $12 really isn't all that much. I mean, around a $22 billion market cap really isn't all that crazy in the world of cryptocurrencies, in my opinion. And especially for a project, right? Much like Decentraland, where It's focused on the metaverse, a market that could be worth $5 trillion in the next 6 years. And also on top of that, being one of the best metaverses out there in terms of community and being well established. So I don't think this is a tough task. I don't think it's a tall order for Mana. Mana at the price of $12. I could very well see it happening during the peak of this bull run. Now, I do want to take a look at my best case scenario price target for Mana. That is Mana at the price of $15. Now, that's a 30x from here. Do I believe that this could hypothetically happen, right? If all the cards were right, so to speak. Yes, I do, because as of right now, more crypto owners than ever before in history, right? Nearly double when compared to what we saw back in the 2021 bull run. More specifically, currently, nearly 600 million crypto owners. So that's a lot. That's over 500 million. Caray, boha. And also, we got to take into consideration more institutional investors than ever before. And also on top of that, something that people don't really consider is the fact that investors are smarter than ever before. Because back in 2021, a lot of people, they FOMO'd into random projects, but they didn't really know what it was all about. But nowadays, so much information out there. People know more about projects just in general, and people have a lot of time to research more about metaverse projects because keep in mind, right, 2022, it was very boring. A lot of nonsense happened. 2023, kind of boring as well, but 2024, man, things got exciting. So I think that those years, right, when the crypto space overall wasn't really, popping off in any good way, that was when people started doing their research, which is why I think that we're seeing that the Decentraland community, it's increasing by the day. Now, it's not as much as some AI projects out there or as, some meme coins out there that can't be denied, but it's growing at a very steady pace. And it makes sense though, right? The metaverse, again, hasn't really popped off yet. So it's just a matter of time. If a community is growing stronger by the day, people believe in the project, the team isn't giving up, and it's focused on a market that has crazy potential, really, I do believe that the future could look so bright. And also, you couple that with the fact that there's this many crypto owners currently, this bull run, the sky's the limit. And with that being said, Mana at the price of $15, I don't see why not. It's not all that crazy. Now, I do want to talk about when I do think that the peak of the altcoin season is going to happen, because typically the peak of the altcoin season, it does usually happen anywhere between 6 to 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. So a year or a year and a half after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, as we all know, Bitcoin halving event happened very recently, of course, this April. So when we take that into consideration, either best case scenario, which is 6 months from right now, which is October of this year. Now, that's a best case scenario. I'm not going to take that example. Now, I'm also not going to take the worst case scenario example, which is 18 months, which would be October of next year, right? That's quite a while. So let's take a middle ground approach. Let's say 12 months, right? We don't take 6, we don't take 18, we take 12 months. That would still be April of 2025. So that's potentially, right? Mana, it would give it a year to truly prove itself from right now. So I think when it comes to people saying, wow, Mana not at the price of $15, not even at the price of $10, carayo, porra, why is it doing caca? Well, historically speaking, this isn't the time yet. Yeah, sure, we've seen some meme coins, right, go absolutely ham. But in my opinion, every cryptocurrency moves at its own pace. It depends on, the FOMO that's happening to the market that they're focused on. It also happens, what the trend is. And as of right now, the metaverse, it hasn't really, gotten its groove back yet, so to speak. But it's going to happen because the metaverse, it can't be denied. It's very revolutionary, and I think it's just a matter of time. So again, Mana at the price of $15, I could very well see it happening during the peak of this bull run. And of course, my strategy is and always will be, when it comes to any cryptocurrency that I own, dollar cost averaging. Now, what do I mean by dollar cost averaging? I'm putting a set amount on a set schedule on a consistent basis. So that way, I'm not focused on what happens to the price in the next 5 minutes, 10 days. It's like, no one really cares about that. I'm not a day trader. I don't use leverage. Dude, it's like some people out there, they make a video on Decentraland, but all they do is that they pull up a price chart on Mana and they say, wow, technical analysis, I'm going to predict the future of Mana based on a hourly price chart. It's like, God, it's like, are you crazy, man? So they draw a random triangle. They're trying to draw their grandma's G-string, thong, a lingerie set, or Lee the Captain edition bratwurst extender. Who knows, right? And they say, wow, bull flag. You got a short, you got a long. Oh, wow. They say, it's a double 69, standing 69, cup and handle. It's like, dude, no one cares about that. We're not drinking coffee or tea here, right? We're taking a look at a price chart. Complete nonsense. Who cares about that? I focus on the fundamentals because people who make videos like this, I don't think they understand the fundamentals, because if they did, why would they be doing that, right? You got to ask yourself that question. Now, of course, again, I'm dollar cost averaging because I believe that is key. I believe that is a way for me to stay in the crypto space for the long haul, right? If I'm using leverage, I get liquidated, then that's very bad news. But if I hold, right, if I just acquire, I hold, and my portfolio is down 10, 20, 30%, whatever, it doesn't matter, then it's not a loss really if I don't sell. And also on top of that, I can just wait for it to go up. If the price does drop, since I'm dollar cost averaging, again, when I earn income, I'll just put even more. I like to keep things simple. I just acquire, I hold, and I just wait for the peak of the bull run. That's it. I think Decentraland, man, it did shock the world back in 2021, but I think it's going to shock the world yet again. Mana, its native token, at the price of $15, wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And also on top of that, make sure to check out this very fantastic video. I think you all would really love it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. And of course, peace. Bye.